Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Burkett. It's exciting for me to see people in our community who live their lives not just for success, but for significance. Rick Hendrick is one of those people. He moved to Charlotte in the 1970s and has built a lasting legacy through his car dealerships, his NASCAR teams, and his never-ending desire to give back to our community. His latest honor is being chosen the Charlotte Chamber's Citizen of the Carolinas. Our Jason Terzis tells us more.
It started in small-town America in rural Southern Virginia.
He grew up on a farm, and he came from nothing.
His love affair with cars began at a young age.
Working with cars in any aspect was a dream of his.
One car dealership blossomed into an automotive giant.
He's obviously quite an entrepreneur, and that started at an early age.
Then came the racing and championships, lots of them.
He's always done what he loved.
But through all the success and ability to stay humble and true to his small-town roots.
With Mr. Hendrick, it's all about the people.
I feel like everywhere he goes, he makes a difference in whatever he does.
Making a difference by giving back to the community with a servant's heart.
He just seems to have such a great balance on life.
Rick Hendrick was born in 1949, growing up in the tiny town of Palmer Springs, Virginia. At 14, he began drag racing in a self-built 1931 Chevy.
The guys that he knew raced cars on the street, more like Dukes of Hazzard. Cars and racing cars was part of the culture.
At 26, he became the youngest Chevy dealer in the United States. At 29, Hendrick moved to Charlotte, where he purchased City Chevrolet.
That one store turns into, 5 stores, and then eventually turns into 100+ stores.
Today, Hendrick Automotive is the largest privately held dealership group in the country, with more than 100 dealerships across 14 states. The company employs more than 10,000 people, generating a company record $8.4 billion in revenue in 2015. Selling cars was one thing, but racing them was always Rick's passion. In the mid-'80s, he launched Hendrick Motorsports. His drivers have combined to win a dozen championships in NASCAR's top series, including 4 by Jeff Gordon and a record-tying 7 by Jimmy Johnson. The heart of Hendrick Motorsports is a state-of-the-art 430,000 square foot facility in Concord. It includes a museum, gift store, and race shops where the cars are built. Also on site, Rick's personal car collection. With over 200 classics, it's guaranteed to be the envy of any car enthusiast.
My father, if I could think of a word to really, as a metaphor of who he's a builder.
And it's not just building things, it's how he builds them.
Rick believes that life is really a people business, not a car business, not a racing business, but a people business.
He sets an example of, listen, we're not going to get there without being a team, without working together, and without working extremely hard.
Talk to those who know Rick, and they'll tell you his accomplishments are great, but it's the person he is that really makes him special.
He had so much respect for his mother and his father, and it was obvious that he was raised in a way that, in a small town living on a farm, that you gave back. It was a mindset. It was a belief system.
After being diagnosed with leukemia in 1996, Rick formed the Hendrick Marrow Program. Since then, he's given millions to charities, including Together We Feed, Be the Match, Levine Children's Hospital, Drive to End Hunger, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Nazareth Children's Home, and the Charlotte Observer Summer Camp Fund.
A few years ago, there was a shortfall in funding the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system where sports was going to be cut out of middle schools. He made a $250,000 donation that went with an anonymous donation to keep middle school sports alive.
He's been giving to poor children in his community and funding camps for kids in the summer for as long as I can remember.
I don't think I've ever seen him meet a family or a child that was in need that he didn't help.
That's more important to us than winning trophies and selling cars. Is to be able to help those in need.
Shortly after son Ricky, brother John, and several team members were killed in a 2004 plane crash, the Hendricks donated $3 million to help start Levine Children's Hospital. Their donation went to the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, a place where the sickest of the sick come for care.
And so now children that are born in this community or in our region, and frankly now we're starting to see children from across the country come to us and choose us for their care. They don't need to go anywhere else.
Ongoing donations by the Hendricks to Levine's have totaled more than $4.5 million.
So our contribution goes far beyond the floor and the unit, but it steps into people's lives personally, and it personally helps them and personally changes and saves lives. So we're thrilled to be a part of it. You can't put a dollar on a child's life.
And no dollar amount or award can sum up what Rick Hendrick means to our community.
Our 2016 Citizen of the Carolinas, Rick Hendrick.
In late November, in front of an estimated 2,000 people, the Charlotte Chamber presented Hendrick with its highest honor.
First of all, I'm honored and humbled to be here tonight to receive this award from a city that's meant so much to me and my family. We love it here. It's been good to us. And I'm proud to say that of our 11,000 employees and teammates now, 5,000 of them are in the Carolinas.
Rick Hendrick, the 2016 Citizen of the Carolinas. For Carolina Impact, I'm Jason Terzis reporting.
Thanks so much, Jason. Joining me now is Bob Morgan, President and CEO of the Charlotte Chamber of Commerce. Bob, thanks so much for joining us. We always appreciate your time.
Glad to be here. Happy New Year to you.
Hey, Happy New Year to you as well. 2016 was a tough one for businesses in our area. HB2, a heated gubernatorial race, challenges with the riots in Uptown. Yet, in spite of all those negatives, our business community still had a pretty good year. What were some of the accomplishments?
Well, Charlotte's a remarkable economy with remarkable momentum. Yes, we took some hits, many related to HB2, some specific companies that did not bring jobs that had been planned, several major high-profile sporting events and meetings, and we continue to deal with HB2, of course. But we created several thousand new jobs, primarily companies that are already here, growing as the national economy grows, and it continues to be a story of what sells for Charlotte. We have a cost of living that's 95% of the national average. We have a workforce that's large. We know how to run businesses and make things, those of us who live here. And the Charlotte Airport continues to give us a level of connectability, fifth largest, fifth busiest airport in the country, a level of air service far greater than our population size might indicate. Those and other attributes continue to sell well.
But the one thing we always know, the only thing I think we can always count on, is the fact that change is the only constant in life. So there's a lot of change coming now in 2017. What are some things that you're looking for through the Chamber?
Well, first of all, we still need a fix for HB2. It's a problem, and we need the legislature and local leaders to come together and give us a fix for that. Regarding the police shootings in September, they really put a spotlight on the work of the Opportunity Task Force, this idea that prosperity is not evenly spread throughout our community, and the recommendations of the task force are going to come out in the first quarter. We intend to make those recommendations a priority. We need for the community to do that because we've got some serious long-term systemic issues that need to be addressed, or we're going to repeat the events we saw back in September, most likely. On a more positive, proactive front, we're very excited, the Charlotte Chamber and the Charlotte Regional Partnership. We've spent a lot of time over the last 2 years developing an economic development strategic plan for the marketing of the region. Never has that been more important than ever. 2017 is about implementation, execution, deliver on the recommendations of that plan. And then the Chamber itself, we are literally changing our model. We're an organization that historically has served those companies that are members of the Chamber. We're going to go from that model of exclusivity to one of inclusivity. We're here to serve anybody that does business in this economy. We've reorganized our staff. We are making investments in 2017. People are going to start hearing more about it. They're going to see some tangible results of that over the course of the year and into the coming years. We think it's a way to strengthen the voice of the business community, to provide more value to the businesses that are here. One component of that is to beef up our capacity to help entrepreneurs in the community. Gallup would say that the companies that create the most jobs going forward are going to be those that currently employ between 100 to 1,000 employees. We can do more to help connect those folks within what we call the entrepreneurial ecosystem. The changes we're making are going to allow us to do that.
And we are making ourselves even more advantageous to entrepreneurs to come and to settle here.
Well, entrepreneurs are attracted by many of the same things that I've already mentioned that other companies are. You ask them, what more can you do? One part of the answer is very low-hanging fruit. Celebrate us more. Talk about us more. They feel overshadowed by some of the larger companies in the tall towers. So folks in positions like yours and mine, we can help celebrate entrepreneurs in a greater way. They also need more venture capital. Not an easy fix there. But
finding funding is always a challenge for everyone.
Finding funding is. But we are the best to be found anywhere at helping large companies, traditional projects, whether it's a headquarters recruitment or a manufacturing plant. We know how to help them make a decision that can lead them to invest and put jobs in Charlotte. entrepreneurs have different needs. Sometimes they don't know what those needs are. The help they need from the Chamber of Commerce or from others is different. We're going to have additional capacity from a staffing perspective, from a focus perspective, prioritization, to expand what we as a community can do to help more entrepreneurial companies to grow.
Bob Morgan, President and CEO of the Charlotte Chamber of Commerce, we always appreciate your time. You always have an awful lot going on, and we're excited to see all the progress you'll make this year.
Well, thank you. And thank